ladies and gentlemen. This is a very special podcast, and I'm going to call it Home Alone because I'm actually at the house by myself. Tommy is in the Philippines as we speak with Ivy. He is trading pesos with the skinnies, probably drinking a daiquiri in a nice warm pool somewhere. And so I'm here by myself the last few weeks, and he's not going to come home for another few weeks, but the last few weeks here by myself have actually been really weird. So last night, I'm sitting in my room, and the whole house is just old, you know, and it's quiet. So when I'm ready to go to sleep and I'm laying in my bed, there's absolutely zero noise, except for like one tiny fan that I have in the corner of my room that I got off Amazon. But I started going down like a rabbit hole, and I'm like looking at alien conspiracy theories and like all this stupid stuff online. And then at 5 o'clock in the morning, I swear to God, I'm just freaking myself out at this point, and I hear a noise like coming from the far end of my house. It's like a thump, boom. And I'm like, holy crap, you know, and I'm just freaking myself out. So I get up, I grab like an axe that I have next to my bed, and I walk through my dark house as slow as I can with my axe in one hand and my phone in the other, and I make it all the way to the creepy back door next to the back bathroom in like the very far end of my house. And of course, it's just like a horror movie. I'm looking inside of the shower area, just waiting for something to jump out so I can like stab it with my axe. And then now I'm thinking, well, what if the person was in the living room and then they made their way all the way back to my bedroom, which is back on the opposite side of the house? I'm like, crap. So now I get my axe, and now I have to make it all the way back to my room, and it's 5 o'clock in the morning already, keep in mind. And so I finally get all the way back to my room, and I start checking the closets, and I just realized this is so stupid. I'm like almost 30 years old. So I lay down in my bed, and then I swear to God, I'm looking, like my blinds face the backyard, and we have like a backyard light that just kind of keeps like the whole backyard illuminated at night. And I swear I just see something walk by my sliding glass door on the other side of the blinds, and it just like casts a shadow. So now it's 5:30 in the morning, and I'm freaked out, and I get my axe again, and I look out the window, and there could have just been somebody standing on the other side. And I don't see anything, so finally I just lay down, and I think, you know what, before I fall asleep, I'm going to put knives all over the house so I know exactly, if at any point I get up during the night, I will know where all the knives are placed, and I could just grab a knife at any point if someone's here and then just stab them and kill them. So, of course, I get through the whole night, it's all good, and I live to tell the tale. So, like the first week, Tommy and Ivy were gone, and keep in mind, this isn't like the first time I've ever been home alone. I had the apartment to myself for like a year, or a little over a year. I had like vacations planned at the same time that he was gone. I was in Laughlin, which was amazing. That was last weekend, and I went to Laughlin with my buddy Rafi. We went out there, we stayed over at this like new hotel called the Aquarius. We went to like this buffet. This was like one of the highlights because it was all you can eat, of course it's all you can eat, but it was all you can eat crab leg, and it was prime rib, and I ate so much prime rib and crab leg this is 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so like during the day I'm just chilling out by the pool getting sun, and I'm sitting at this freaking buffet for like an hour just mowing and mowing and mowing. When I got up to pay the bill, I was so full that I couldn't go to the casino to gamble afterwards. I had to go lay in my bed on my side. I was so packed. I felt like I was going to explode. I went back to the room. I laid there. I was like, hey, I just need like some time to like just relax and like sleep this off, because it was honestly probably the most stuffed my body has ever been. And I laid there and could not move until midnight. Finally at midnight, I get up. I'm ready to go gamble. I go and I hit the casino. It was a good night. The next day, it's like almost the same thing, minus the buffet. Just gambling, hanging out by the pool. And late that night, I was like ready for something to eat. And it was a weekday, or it was Sunday night. It was Sunday night, and it was right before I came home. And like the only thing I could find that was open was like this stupid McDonald's. So I go to this McDonald's, and I'm like, you know what? Forget about it, dude. I'm just gonna get something to eat. And I order the food on my McDonald's app that I have on my phone. And I get there, and there's like this huge fat guy and he has like all these gang member tattoos all over his face, and he's sitting there with like 3 other of his homies, and they're like laughing, and the soda machine happens to be right next to where these guys are all sitting in a booth. So I get my quarter pounder with cheese, and I'm going to get my water, and I hear like the fat guy, and this guy is just trashed. You know, all these guys are just wasted. You know, you're in Laughlin, they're going crazy, and I hear one of them kind of do like that old school Dave Chappelle white voice, you know, where it's like, meow, meow. And he goes, meow, let me get my soda. And I just looked at the guy, and he was so big. I looked right at him. He's biting into his cheeseburger, and I went, do 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 do, you're loving it. And then all of his friends went, oh! They were laughing so hard, and I was like, well, that could have gone one of 2 ways. I either could have gotten a knife to the throat, or they could just laugh it off. So that was a fun trip. It was a good time in Laughlin. I'm going to be going again in August to do the river float. It's going to be the Josh's, my buddy Josh's bachelor party. So we're going to do the river float out on the, it's called the River Regatta. So we always go out there. We take like some giant raft that like, it's literally, it holds like 8 adults. You can put ice chests on there. It's the biggest raft you've ever seen in your life. But so I get back Monday morning, and it was early Monday morning. And then so that day, I actually broke up with my girlfriend that same day. And so yeah, that's sad. So it's been like a week, and yeah, that just really sucked. I'm not going to go super into that. Most of my close friends and family, of course, they already kind of know what happened. But that really sucked. And you know, I feel better now, but you know, and it's taken time to digest it. It's obviously been a week since I've even sat down and worked on a podcast or done anything, and then it'll be a while till Tommy comes back to record new material. But I was thinking about it today when I was looking at, you know, all the stuff I would talk about, and my brother actually, I remember we had a conversation, and it wasn't about, you know, I'll be honest, after I broke up with her, you know, we've talked about her on the podcast and everything, I was really sad. And after you kind of get past that period, you start thinking about, you know, how long is this going to last or whatever, you know, when do I feel fine again? And it just kind of made me think about this conversation I had with my brother before he left. And it was actually a conversation about happiness. And he said, you know, what's the happiest you've ever been, or what was like the happiest time of your life? And nothing, I mean, I would honestly say the last 2 years, you know, with my new job and traveling and everything like that, have been the best years of my life. You know, my late 20s, and a lot of people will say, oh, my early 20s, or when I was in high school. And I realized, you know, and he gets like, well, what's the second happiest? And I said, well, probably when I was in college, you know. And then I realized I was just really working my way backwards. And I realized that's kind of how life should be. Like, it should get better. You should, like, whether it's a breakup, you know, that's not necessarily happy, but you, as you grow older, are equipped with the knowledge and the experience on how to deal with that. And your life should progressively get better. You know, you have these new experiences, you face bigger problems, but if you don't face them, if you can't overcome them and continue with your life, then you're not going to progress. Or if you just keep looking back, say, at, back, like Uncle Rico and Napoleon Dynamite, back in 82, you know, life should just get better and better. And as it goes, you know, you are more capable of just dealing with these kind of things. So I'm going to be 30 in, like 10 days, May 24th, I'll be 30. So I just feel like this is like a whole new chapter of my life. And it's a good thing. You know, I honestly feel like, look, it'll be more time. It sucks. You know, I was planning on going on to that New York trip and everything like that. But you know what? It's probably better. It's obviously much better this way. This is just, it's a learning experience. It's a growing experience for both of us, really, on both of our ends. But anyway, I'm not going to feed too much into that. But so this morning, I was going to get air for my tires. Because as you know, like, I have like one tire that is, I popped it, and then I had it plugged, and then it kept leaking air, and then I slimed the tire, and now it still leaks air, but it's over a really slow amount of time. And I don't know what it has been, but for the last 3 weeks, I've had all these experiences with gangsters. And so again, I go to get air in my tire, and I see like this tricked out like rice burner, and like it was a Hispanic, obviously. Like he just looked, well, that's kind of profiling, but he looked crazy, he had like the teardrop on his eye or whatever, I don't know. So I need air in my tires, and he's parked with his car with like the lights, shining out underneath, right next to the parking lot or the parking space where I need to blow up my tire. And so I pull up, and he's filling up his tire, and I'm just kind of waiting, and I'm waiting outside of my car. And he's like, I was like, he looked over, and I was like, hey, what's up, man? He goes, I can't believe it. It's like $1 to fill up your tires, fool, and I'm gonna have to pay again because, man, I don't even know how to fill these up. And so, like, the guy, he didn't know how to check the tire pressure and how many pounds per square inch were inside of his tires. So I took that as an opportunity. I was like, dude, look, hold it down, the lever, as it's filling with air, and then let go of the trigger, and that little tiny measuring, the meter that pops up out of the pressure will gauge how much pressure you have in your tire. So I showed him, and he's like, oh, thanks, man. And it was just a good experience, like the guy, he didn't pull a fast one or anything like that, but he kind of got pissed off because I told him, you're not supposed to pay $1 for air in your tires. They're supposed to just give you that for free. And so after that, he went and talked to the guy inside of the little liquor mart, and I don't know what he told him, but he was probably like trying to get his money back or whatever. Then today, or this was a few days ago, I'm trying to work out and get in shape, and we talked about that before. But I started taking like this cleanse pills, and I start driving to work, and those cleanse pills make you have to go to the bathroom, and I get like halfway, my stomach's gargling, and there's only one bathroom up in the admin office. So when I get to the park, I'm just thinking, you know what? I'm not going to chance there being somebody in that bathroom. I'm going to run to the bathroom in the park. So I run over there. Sure enough, there's like this one stall that's open. I go in there, I sit down, I'm just chilling, and I see, like, I hear somebody walk in, and I can see, I'm in the only bathroom stall you can sit down in. And I could see these two dirty shoes on the other side of the stall door. And they're facing the wall. So literally somebody's standing on the other side of the door to the bathroom stall that I'm in, but they're facing a wall. And I'm like, dude, what the heck is this person doing? And then I see the feet turn left. Both feet at the same time turn left, facing the door, literally inches away from the door that I'm sitting behind. And then I see the feet kind of go on their tippy toes. So the feet start going up. And then I look at the top of the door, and I see the head of the person looking over into the bathroom stall at me. And it's this like 40-year-old black guy. And I'm like, dude, what the? And I start yelling at him. I'm like, and then his head goes down. It was like a video game. He just goes back into the little behind the door, like it was like a video game where he goes into the hole. And I'm yelling at him, and then I can hear somebody run to the door of the bathroom, and they're like, "Hey, buddy, are you okay in there?" And then I can hear that person that was looking over the stall at me go, "I'm waiting for the bathroom." And I realized, look, this person has some instability, or they're a little off, so they didn't really know what they were doing. But I was like, you know what? When I'm finished up in here, I'm gonna go outside and talk to like his parental supervision, be like, look, dude, this guy is looking over in the bathroom at me. I know you got your thing going on, but maybe you can talk to him, because you don't know if he has the mind of a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old or whatever. But that was pretty pretty weird. But after I remember work that day, I wanted to go get some Starbucks. So I go to Starbucks, and this is just how crazy technology is. So I go to the Starbucks, and I'm in like this super long line, and I'm like thinking, how can I mess with this Starbucks employee? So when I'm sitting at Starbucks waiting, I see all these stupid people sticking their phones out, trying to pay on their phone and Apple Pay and, all this, scan my barcode and let me get a free coffee with every, 15th, whatever, trying to get their gold points or whatever. That always just ticked me off because it just holds up the line. So when it's finally my turn, they're like, okay, that'll be $3.52 or whatever. and I just stick out my finger, and I go, "You guys accept finger pay?" And she's like, "What?" I go, "You guys take finger pay?" And she goes, "What's that?" And I was like, the new chips they implemented. You could pay. It's a chip in your finger, and it's linked with your iPhone with the Apple Pay. She goes, "Oh no, we don't accept that yet." And I was like, "No, I'm joking. There's no such thing as finger pay. I mean, hey, there might be out there, and probably someday, but that's just how crazy technology is that she actually believed it. I'm just like, hey, I'm making something totally bogus up. I was like, hey, yeah, scan my forehead. I could have said that, and she, oh no, we don't take that yet. But yeah, good times. So I get back today, and I'm back at the house again, obviously. And I'm about to catch up on some Westworld, because Westworld's back on. I'm super stoked about that. The first season rocked, so I'm hoping that the second season's just as good. I signed up for the HBO Now, and a few days before the premiere of the new Westworld Season 2 episode. And on the HBO Now, there's tons of stuff. Like, I had never watched Game of Thrones. And then the day after I broke up with my girlfriend, I sat at the house and I was like, dude, I'm not going out today. I'm just going to chill. I watched, from the morning till night, I watched the first season of Game of Thrones. It took me hours to watch that. And then by the time I was done, I realized there's like 6 or 7 more seasons. I'm like, I am not going to sit here through another season. I just watched this friggin' long-haired guy get killed. He wanted to go overseas or whatever. Some Sarah Connor actor, the girl who played Sarah Connor in the new Terminator, she like gave birth to dragons at the end of the first season. I was like, okay, that's enough for me. King Joffrey just pisses me off. I can't watch it anymore. So I'm over that, but I'm excited about Westworld. And as I was here, and I've been around the house again. All these memories are coming back to me. I start looking around the house, and like, when you're just chilling in a quiet house that you grew up in, you start, believe me, you have memory. I'm looking out back. I'm remembering where I buried my dog. I was looking at the side of the house. I remember, by my brother and I and our friend Eynon down the street, we used to bury these glass bottles with. We would make treasure maps. It would be like total school lined paper. We would burn the edges. And we used to make these maps to this fictional cave that supposedly had all this gold, and we called it Rattlesnake's Cave. Totally Indiana Jones inspired. But we thought if we buried enough bottles back there that somebody at some day would find them. And it's funny because there's probably good 5 or 6 bottles still on the side of the house that are still buried down there. That I think I would probably be able to find if I had one of those things that those guys take to the beach and like scan the ground for stuff down there. So maybe if I had one of those, but I'm not going to just start digging a bunch of ditches. I know those bottles are down there with, our handwriting say, if you make it to this cave and you'll find riches as far as the eye could see. And it would be pretty awesome to see that stuff again. I know it'd be a huge throwback for my brother too. And but anyway, the rest of this podcast, because I just wanted to catch up with you guys real quick. The rest of this podcast is actually recorded before Tommy left for the Philippines. I know he's out there having fun, but we actually recorded this. It was the night before he left, and we were going to do the regular podcast on 2 mics, and the computer, there was a major problem with the computer. It was like all the space was taken up. I didn't want to delete anything. Somehow, like, some of the episodes that we recorded got deleted. I found them in like the trash cans. I was like, okay, we can't record on this computer right now. I cannot throw anything away. Let's just use a phone. And so honestly, this next part is all off of an iPhone 8, my new iPhone 8. And it's just Tommy and I just rambling right before he left, but it's still good stuff. And I think this was before I broke up with Isabel. So I think there is one story with her in there. But aside of that, it's a fun podcast, and you will enjoy it. So 3, 2, 1, let's get that going.
Bring him out, bring him out, bring him out. Eynon Brothers, EVP live, coming from the VIP.
Yeah, straight from an iPhone 8. So we just had like the scariest thing ever happen.
Yeah.
We're Tommy's literally leaving tomorrow to go on his trip.
The next day.
Okay, Wednesday. And we, just last night, we recorded a podcast with Manuel the band.
Yes.
And so I'm like, Tommy, dude, let's do one more podcast before you leave. Like, let's just get as much material as we can, because the last 2 guests that we've had have been great, but we haven't really talked about any of our own material, like stuff that's been happening. Mm-hmm. So we come in here to podcast, dude, and lo and behold, I open up GarageBand, and like the whole last interview we did with Manuel the band was completely deleted. I was so devastated. Tommy was like, "What's wrong?" I'm just not even talking to him. I'm like,
you weren't even responding to me.
Like my stomach dropped so bad, you know. And then I was like trying to look through. Like somehow it got deleted and sent to the trash can. Like I was like, did Satan himself like come in here last night? Because we were so stoked about the interview and we were able to find the files and like I like created copies. But what happened was the disk space was full, and I ended up finding his that interview file was automatically sent to the trash can. I don't know why.
Not today, Satan.
Yeah, I think that somehow like that's built into the Mac. So I checked like the disk utility. It was like all 600 and whatever gigs are full. So it's finally time to do like a disk cleanup and get rid of all the crap, you know, like over the next few days. So tonight, I didn't feel comfortable just emptying the trash can to rush this episode out or to be able to record for tonight because it just wasn't worth accidentally losing any material. So we made a compromise to still record, but to record on an iPhone 8. And so here we are. Cue those kids.
Cue the kids. Cue the kids.
Yeah, dude. I still feel like I'm still feeling it, dude. Like it's such a scary thing.
Your heart dropped into your balls,
dude. It dropped so bad. It's such a scary thing to think. Like we put, you know, the guest came yesterday. We put way too much time into. Like we put a lot of time into. You know,
it was a phenomenal podcast.
It was fun. It was probably one of the most fun things we've ever done. But thankfully, that thing was like saved by like the skin of our teeth, and we will still be able to release that. And it will still sound full quality, but oh my God. So I just feel good. I don't even care if anyone listens to this podcast. And Tommy, you know, he hesitated to even record on an iPhone 8 at like 18% battery. And I'm like, dude, let's just do it, dude. Like, I don't think they're going to care about quality if we just like, hey, say what happened. We'll talk about it on the podcast. But the Mac, you know, and it might be time for a new computer, yeah. But like the thing is, it really just needs to be like cleaned up. You know, there's hundreds of gigs of video and sound and video and audio on here that just need to be gone through.
Yeah, once that's all cleaned up, you'll probably empty like at least half the space.
Oh, easily, dude. Like those pictures eat up a lot of space, but what it is on here is just it's all like the backup and rendering files and a bunch of stuff you guys just really don't care about. But anyways, so how do you feeling, dude? You're getting ready to leave for your vacation.
Dude, I'm feeling great.
You got your
it's awesome, man. So
you're all skinny now. You won the competition for those of you who weren't here for the weigh-in. Tommy won.
Yeah,
by like 1%, but you won.
Congratulations. Thank you. We have we're coming up on our trip. We're leaving in not tomorrow, but the next day. We're super excited about it, but like that super excitement like hasn't kicked in yet. But I feel like tomorrow when I'm off work and I don't have to work the next day, and then I can have the whole day to pack and go get a tan and get my hair cut and everything. I'm just gonna be on cloud 9.
Yeah, dude.
I'm just like, wouldn't it be nice if...
Dude, I just realized how weird it is like podcasting this close to you because we're usually on the way opposite sides of the table, and now we're like hovering over his
face to face
stupid phone.
You can smell your dirty breath.
And it felt weird because we didn't get our intro music because we weren't gonna play it off the phone. We're just like, we'll have to edit that part in, but. It's definitely like a different experience. It's going to be literally working with one audio file from this phone, and this thing's actually has it's brand new, so there's a ton of space. But so I want you to tell everyone what you went and bought with the prize money for losing the most weight. $125.
All right. So I took that money, dude, and went and put it all on black, and I'm just kidding. No. I took the majority of that money and today actually went to Best Buy and I went and bought a new GoPro Hero waterproof action camera.
Nice.
And I need to learn how to use this thing in 2 days. And it's pretty awesome, man. It's waterproof up to 33 feet. It has a touchscreen LED on the back, which is great because I used to have the old GoPro Silver. I still do. And you really didn't know what you were shooting until you actually edit it. Yeah. So this has a little screen on the back, which I'm really pumped. And it was funny because our mom and dad were like, "Hey, if you want, you could borrow our camera."
Yeah.
And I think it's like a Canon something.
That's nice, dude.
It's a beautiful camera, but I was like, I don't know if I want this bulky camera to take because first off, it's beautiful. It's a great looking camera, but I feel like I would look like such a tourist wearing that thing around my neck, dude, and just being like, "Oh, take picture."
Oh,
I was gonna pick that up from them, but I decided not to. But that is what I bought with my winnings. It cost a little bit more. I think it was $199 plus tax, and then I bought an SD card for it, and those were like $150 for the one that I got. But dude, I got it on sale for $59 today. It was like $90.
That's awesome.
It was $90 off.
You're loving it.
So I was stoked on that, man.
You got the old one.
Thanks a lot. So that was pretty cool, man. That is what I bought that, with the winnings of
Damn, dude. So you got that 125 Venmo. I finally the sad thing
the
was
the 124.75.
That's what I'm saying. I would cut you short by like 25 cents just to
because Venmo started charging you 25 cents if you just do it straight. It used to be for free.
Yeah, that's right. I was asking you about that the other night. I was like, so do you wait till Venmo, like when you accept somebody's payment in Venmo, do you wait until it just goes through, or do you just
I hadn't used it,
or do you
so
just
long.
take the give Venmo a quarter and then they'll deposit it immediately? Personally, I always just let it go through on its own timing because to me, I'm just like, I'm not going to give you a quarter, and I'll just take the whole thing. But it does take like 2 or 3 days. And
I guess I just didn't have my bank account set up to it, so yeah.
Yeah,
I was just like,
just give me the money. Yeah,
give it to me.
Give me the money, dude.
Dude, Venmo must be making a ton of money.
No, yeah, they've got to be, dude. All the credit, like Venmo and Square, or like any of the credit card companies. Like Square, for example, we use it at work, and they take 3.5% plus 15%. So Square is just it's a credit card processing company, but it's like the most user friendly version of credit card processing of all time. Okay. So if you ever looked up Square, it's not to be confused with Square Cash that you hear like on Joe Rogan, but Square is
on Squarespace.
Yeah, we can create an account, and then somebody would send us their credit card info. And then all of a sudden you can just run their card, or you could put like their card in, or you can have a little chip, or not a chip. You would get like a little auxiliary card swiper, so it goes into the actual auxiliary port, or you can get one that goes into the what do you call it? The jack on the iPhone, the newer iPhones that don't have the auxiliary jack.
Oh, like the little swiper.
So it plugs right into a phone or an iPad, and then they can swipe their card through that little square.
Yeah.
But it takes, and this is average, I guess, for credit card processing. It's like 3.5%, but then Square tax on like the extra 15 cents. So that's like the base. Yeah. But if you're making a $1 purchase, you're not going to want to use something like Square if that's your company. You're going to be losing a lot of money to these jokers. But
that's cool.
Yeah. So,
dude, speaking of purchases, last weekend, Ivy and I we got some new luggage, and because we had some old luggage that we've had since we got married, but those things we like through all the different vacations and whatnot, it's kind of gotten beat up. One of the wheels wasn't working, dude. So it was just like zippers are starting to not work anymore. Yeah. So we ordered some like really nice new luggage, and they're like the hard shell on the outside. Yeah. And it's black. So it's like if it gets scuffed or anything, it won't damage it. And then it's like really hard on the outside. That's what she said. And so it's nothing's going to get crushed versus just having like a...
Because when I was cleaning the garage out and I was like creating the man cave, I was like sculpting it. I noticed you guys had a bunch of luggage. And
that's old luggage.
You guys were asking me like, hey, Mitchell, do you have Amazon Prime? I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, we have Amazon Prime. Yeah. So... when we got Frontier, they gave us a free year of Amazon Prime, and that's why we can watch the movies on Prime and all that stuff. But I made sure it was like when we signed up, I was like, make sure you send it to mitchell.eynon@gmail.com so that I get the Prime membership 2-day shipping. And I was like, I don't want it under Tommy at freaking TDG group at AOL.com. But if you guys didn't even end up using it, you just ordered it because look, you ordered it ahead of time, right?
Yeah, well, it got here, and I mean, my wife was already packed up 3 weeks ago.
Right. Okay.
If you look at my room, you can see all the suitcases are all laid out. Yeah. All kinds of crap is in there. But
I'm just glad you bought all that because I'm going to New York like right after you come back. So.
You can borrow it.
Yeah. It's just like, dude, I don't care. I'm really happy I can use it for New York.
So last weekend...
You can fit Ivy in one of those suitcases.
I have. I posted a video a long time ago of like, I don't know if it was a suitcase or a box, and I was like, my mail order bride's here. And she popped out. She's like, perfect. Hello.
Yeah, you should do that again for the Eynon Brothers page.
We should.
Dude, do it again.
I'll see if I can find that old video. It was hilarious.
It's going to be sad, man, because Tommy's going to be gone for 3 weeks. I'm seriously going to try to record. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to have all the people as guests that I know you wouldn't want here when you were here, or I'll just cover all the topics.
Like, here's my loser friend that works at Taco Bell. His name's John.
No, don't use that name.
I know, that was a bad name.
That was the
worst. That was the only name
that was the worst name. It's a beginner name, but so use how about Rufus, dude? Rufus at freaking Benihana, or Rufus at the Jack in the Box, dude. Have him on. Hey, that'd be cool if we interviewed.
I brought free tacos for you, fool.
What do you guys think about that? If we bring in one loser a month and interview him, like, hey, so what's it like working at Taco Bell?
No, that's so trash.
That'd be funny, dude. We have a guy like the shift manager at Wiener Schnitzel, and he's like, hey, you gotta make sure that chili's hot, fool.
I took a shit in the chili.
I don't know why we gave him that accent. He's like, hey, you know,
bro. So last
weekend, 2 for 2, fool.
Last weekend, Ivy and I were like, you know, we should probably just go to Walmart and get a couple things. For
our trip. Lord!
You know, let's go. We need to get some new clothes. You know, some shorts, because, dude, it's 90 degrees at night.
Right, yeah.
And it's hot as balls.
Yeah.
So I need, like, you know, medicine, Tylenol, just Imodium in case I get, like, diarrhea or something from
it's happening, yeah.
disgusting food that I eat. Like, stuff like that. Aloe vera, sunscreen, just all that kind of crap. Sandals, hats, all that crap. But,
basic.
Dude, how much do you think we spent at Walmart? I'm just getting a couple of things.
Oh, if you were at Walmart getting some sandals, maybe, you know, some sneakers, maybe some sunscreens or whatever.
Clothes, medicine, snacks, hats, swimsuits.
Snacks?
How much would you say?
About $150.
We spent $400.
Why? Wait, why did you? That's too much. How did that happen?
A lot of that stuff was from me. Yeah. They have like Walmart actually has some pretty cool stuff now. Like, as far as like,
that's where I get my shorts.
I know.
Just
10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
I just got like a lot of tank tops, V-necks, basic stuff like that.
Dude, they do
and
have
it's just
some
like
good clothes.
It's like $12, $10, $5, dude,
$4.
That shit adds up.
Yeah, it does.
And buying like medicine, like Imodium, and I'm going for 3 weeks, almost a month. I'm gonna make sure I'm stocked with stuff.
But here's the thing too, though, about the clothes real quick, is you said you were going to be giving away clothes. So there's nothing wrong with you. These are shirts you might end up wearing one day. Mm-hmm. They have tank tops at Walmart for like $7.
Yeah.
You know, and some of them are good designs. Look, it's not like you can spend $50 on some, Ruka,
you can buy a $50 t-shirt or a $4 t-shirt.
Yeah, $4, dude. And it's
the same thing.
It's a piece of light cotton that you're going to throw it over, and some kid in the street's going to want it, dude. You're good. For $400, that's a little too much.
It was a lot because Ivy bought clothes.
You probably hit the McDonald's on the way out.
Ivy was so mad.
Why?
She was just like,
wasn't she there?
How did we spend how did we spend $400 on all this stuff? But we had a full shopping cart.
Yeah.
And then we go through it, and I'm like,
was that before or after you did your taxes?
Before.
You probably thought you were gonna get money back, right?
I did.
Did you? Did you get money back?
This year, no.
Yeah.
We both owed.
Oh shit!
I only owed like almost 500. Uh-huh. She owed, I think, like 700. So all together, like 1,200 we owe.
Yeah.
I'm probably just gonna pay mine and maybe put hers on like a payment plan of like three months or something worth, and then just pay it off.
Yeah.
But dude, last year I owed like 1,000 or something, and then she owed over like $2,000.
In credit cards?
No,
taxes.
Yeah.
I spaced out.
Yeah. On credit cards?
On credit cards? Dude, there was a point like yesterday, and I know I'm going to hear it back in the podcast when I listen to it, because when we interviewed MG from Manual the Band, there was a point where you guys were talking, and both of you looked at me like as if what was I going to say? And I honestly, like, my mind spaced out for about 30 seconds. And I remember what I said was, I honestly didn't know what you guys were talking about, because I don't know. I don't know.
Were you on your phone?
No, it was strange.
You were thinking about something else? Something
happened. I was thinking about something else, and I spaced. And then MG looked at me, and I remember I said something like, yeah, dude, it's crazy when you don't know what people are going to do. Or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but I could tell that my response to what you guys were talking about didn't fit what you were talking about. And but both of you guys just kind of went, Okay. Yeah, and then we just moved forward from there, and I was like, oh, dude, I totally just... Like, I was waiting for you guys to be like, dude, what are you talking about at this point?
You're like, I love purple.
And that would be a great...
Chicken's really good.
Yeah, and that would... Yeah. I like turtles. Remember that?
I like
dude,
turtles.
That's a classic meme.
That
Dude,
is
speaking
so
of
true.
meme, dude, so what's up with this kid? He's that Walmart kid. Have you seen the yodeling kid from Walmart?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this kid... No, he popped up, and we should play it because we have your phone. We can play it. But, dude, okay, his name's Mason Ramsey. His mom puts up a 39-second video of him yodeling a Hank Williams song at Walmart. It goes viral, millions of views. By this week, he's at Coachella. Here he is. Dude, but there's like so many versions of this out now.
There's like trap remix.
Yeah, dude, people that have the time on their hands, dude, to create, like, dude, there's things that are in the,
and
like,
billions of views.
But there's things that just don't make sense. Because, look, it's one thing to edit the audio and manipulate it and make it, like, sound super auto-tuned and, like, yeah, it's funny, put a heavy, like, behind his yodeling. But then there's just that doesn't make panda. And I was listening to it like 10 times. But then they're doing things like they're taking the video footage and making lasers shoot out of his eyes. You know what I'm talking about?
I wish I had more time to be on the internet. I'm so busy at work,
dude. But yeah, that's like
so gold, dude.
Somebody's
funny.
sitting there and taking the time to edit these
hours,
videos, dude. Hours.
Yeah.
Especially
after
some of the editing's cheesy, but for some of those mixes, like some of the remixes on the auto tune, and you're getting the timing right, and you're changing all the. Dude, like, there's some people that, honestly, like, they have the equipment at their house, they have time on their hands to do this, you know, like, more than I have for even, like, podcast editing. But, dude, like, that's some of my favorite stuff. That's some of the most
it's the funniest stuff ever, bro.
One of my favorite things that people, like, will manipulate online are trailer remixes.
Yeah.
So, like, you take a horror movie, you remix it as a comedy. So they'll take, like I saw the one with The Shining, and it's like they use the song dun 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 dun. The I think it was like Salisbury Hill, climbing up on Salisbury Hill, dun 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 dun. Oh, we gotta plug in. I want to plug in your phone. Okay, yeah, before it dies.
Here, push pause.
Okay, we're back. Dude, so I wanted to talk about, so I think it was like 2 podcasts ago. See, what happened was we weren't able to really talk about don't move the phone too much. Okay, so we're charging now. So it was like on 18% or something like that.
Scary.
So like 2 or maybe 3 podcasts ago, I was talking about, like, I had our 1 year. So now it's like almost a year and a month. But so
for what?
For Bella and I being together. So we're getting ready to celebrate, and of course, at the time we recorded, like, I think it was in the episode Short Circuit. I was like, dude, I don't have any plans. So, and dude, like, honestly, like, what we did, I felt like I got away with murder. Like, it might have been the cheapest yet coolest thing I've ever done.
What'd you do?
So, we went
to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. Dude,
let her play the balls.
First, I was like, okay, you got
in the restaurant and out.
I was like, you got to kick it off with, like, a nice dinner.
For sure.
So you and I, we went to a place called Hello Sushi. We tested it out. I took her there. We got the all you can eat. It was great.
How's that? Yeah,
it was amazing. We ate a bunch of sushi. She's a big girl, so she can eat a lot. So
she's not a big girl.
She's tiny. No, but she can keep up with me though. Like, cool. I can eat a lot of food. So we got the all you can eat, and then after that, I was like, this is either going to be a hit or miss because I can't remember. Actually, I do remember because I wrote it down in my notes. The last time I went to a drive-thru, I'm like, this could be really
a drive-thru for fast food.
A drive-thru or a drive-in. A drive-in theater. I was like, I can't remember the last time I went to a drive-in theater, and it's either going to be really tacky or it's going to be a little romantic, dude.
I can't remember.
Like, it's like kind of.
I think we saw a Free Willy or something,
dude. I know the last time that we went to one because I remember
it was a double feature.
It was a double feature, and that's kind of like that's tradition, I guess, at drive-in theaters because think of owning a drive-in theater.
Yeah.
How long? Or how often during the day can they show movies?
Just at night.
So they have to make their money all at once in like 1 or 2 showings.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what they do. They have 1 or 2 theaters where they can park hundreds of cars. And back in the day, you would have these speakers. Like you'd park in like a painted slot. You'd bring your car in, and there'd be speakers like
it was like a little pole
on poles. Exactly. And then you would pull them into your car, and then you'd roll up your windows because you don't want to hear the echo of the same thing that's coming out of hundreds of speakers throughout like this entire drive-in theater.
Okay.
So I looked.
That's so cool, dude. That's rad.
It really like I'll walk you through like the entire night, like and what I thought about it, what my experience was. But before I go into that, I want to say that the last movie.
How much was that? Okay, no,
I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna just break it down for you. But
okay.
The last movie that I remembered seeing in a movie drive-in theater was Sergeant Bilko. So this was like a Steve Martin movie.
I don't remember that.
Or Leslie Nelson, and it was double featured with All Dogs Go to Heaven too. So I think the first one was Bilko, and then All Dogs Go to Heaven too. And I looked them up, and they both came out in 1995. Mm-hmm. So I remember Dad taking us to this drive-in theater, and I can't remember where it was, but delete.
So Mitchell's talking to me in this chair, and we have a mirror behind us, and his ass crack is just hanging out, and I just nonchalant take up my phone, and I take a picture of it, and I showed it to him while he's talking.
Oh my god, dude. That was bad, man.
Dude, plumber's crack. I want to put a quarter in there and see what you do.
That was credit card. Dude, that made me want to diet again, man. All photos. That's a bad photo.
Dude, that was only one picture.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Dude, let me pull up my freaking... I was like, wait, what's he taking a photo of? I was like, dude, that's so embarrassing.
Oh, that was hilarious.
It's the last movie, though. I was like, dude, it's like Sergeant Bilko. And it was like 1995, All Dogs Go to Heaven, 1995, double feature. And I guess...
I remember the All Dogs Go to Heaven, but I don't remember the Sergeant Bilko.
Yeah, and they're both forgettable movies. They're probably both like rated below 20%. But so that was the last time, and I looked it up. But I was like, well, it couldn't have been that we watched it at the drive-in that I took her to. Because I took her to the Paramount.
I think we went to Norwalk.
Okay, yeah, it was probably Norwalk. But I took her... It was a different one because when I looked up the history of the one that I took her to, because it didn't feel old. It felt the experience felt like it was something that I hadn't done since 1995, and I was 7, and you were born in 85, so you must have been 10, and both of these movies came out that year. So I was like, it's been a long time. So we're going to the Paramount Drive-In Theater. This place opened in 1947. And then they closed the doors.
23 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so for the one that we saw with Sergeant Bilko. But the one that we went to, so it opened in 1947. And then they closed it in 1992. Wow. And then they finally... So it's been sitting there in Paramount. Like it's basically, imagine like the biggest parking lot ever. And then in the very middle of it is...
Huge wall.
Is on both ends of this amazingly giant, large parking lot are screens. So it's big enough to have one movie showing on one side and another movie showing on the other side. And what splits the two sides is a snack shack. So whether it doesn't matter which side you're on, you both have access to like the snack shack. It's all lit up with like neon lights and greens, and there's like just a bunch of stupid teenagers working, like these old rundown bathrooms. And so on the side that we're on, I totally forgot that it was a double feature. We come pulling in. And they're like, okay, which theater are you going to?
Did you have all Bella's sisters like I did in the trunk?
No, we just
had a little future, 6 people.
I'm like, okay, yeah, we want to see Ready Player One. So this movie's at 7:50, and they're like, okay, the Ready Player One, and the other movie is it was Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Cool, those are both.
And I was like, she's like, okay, thank you, $20, please. I was like, $20? I was like, dude, $20 for 2 movies? Like, you can't beat it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's a regular movie cost now? 16?
16. You get one movie. And dude, I'm not even kidding you. The experience was so sick. Okay, so we come driving in, and we get like there like 20 minutes early.
Why is it so cheap?
I don't get it.
I guess the cost probably of like running that place is probably very minimalistic.
Yeah, it's because it's being projected. It's a projection screen, so it's like literally a giant wall.
They pay the guy at the front door and the losers in the snack shack making $6 an hour.
Dude, they had
serving some disgusting ass nachos.
They really did have some losers working. But there was one guy like
they're all just stoned the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, look,
what's up, brother? You want some nachos?
Yeah, I wanted the full experience. So like I was like, I'm making sure like we're going to the snack shack. We're not bringing candies in. I want to actually walk around and see
candies?
It. And dude, I'm telling
you, have hot chocolate?
You have some hot chocolate? And like their snack shack, it was like the sun was getting ready to go down because the movie start like right at dark, and so the sun's like coming down.
Did you guys have any wine or beers with you?
No, dude, we just went to watch the
movie.
And so the sun's like getting ready to set, dude. And so we're at the snack shack, and it's kind of like a wind coming through, dude. And she goes and uses the restroom, and everything's kind of blowing. And I really got like the feeling that I felt like I was on the set of Twister. So in the movie Twister,
oh my god!
Like in the movie Twister, they're at like maybe like 3/4 into the movie, right before the big tornado hits.
Yeah,
they're at
a
drive-in theater, and the movie that's playing is The Shining. So it's a famous scene from The Shining, the movie where Jack Nicholson's chopping at a door at the Overlook Hotel with an axe, and he's trying to kill his wife and his boy.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's like, here's Johnny, and he's looking through the little crack in the door, and his wife is screaming. So that scene is playing in the movie Twister.
Interesting.
So and then that tornado comes through, and as The Shining is playing on the drive-in giant theater, it starts ripping the screen apart. And then like whatever their names are, like. But not Dustin Hoffman. Who's that? Like the character Dusty and like Bill Paxton, and all of them are like running for cover from this tornado. So we're out there, dude. Me and Bella are like totally like in sync. Like, dude, this feels like we're in the set of Twister. And the craziest thing was, like that's a little foreshadowing. So the movie that we watched was called Ready Player One. This is a new.
How was that?
It's a new Steven Spielberg movie. It takes place in 2045. And look, anytime a new Spielberg movie comes out, I get excited because he's made a lot of my favorite movies. He's made a lot of your favorite movies.
Yeah.
A lot of people's. So this movie it takes place in 2045. It's the future. And the world is at like a really depressing state. You know, everything's run down, and everyone lives at this time in virtual reality, basically, to escape the sadness of the real Earth.
Like now.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone's living in this VR or virtual reality called Oasis, which basically all your desires, anything you've ever wanted, are granted. And it's run and it was created by this guy named James Halliday. And when he in the beginning of the movie, he passes away. But this video is released in the game saying, "Hey, I have planted an Easter egg in this game, and if you find it, you will receive 100% ownership and all stocks of Oasis, and you will essentially be rich beyond your wildest dreams. You can live the real Oasis in the real world because you'll have all the money."
Yeah.
So there's basically, everyone in the VR, it's just like in real life. You have to earn money in the VR to purchase upgrades in the game. You can die and then you just reset.
So he's like the virtual Willy Wonka leaving a golden ticket inside.
Exactly. But you're competing in the virtual world for realized ownership of a game.
Interesting.
So the whole movie is about these people like battling and duking it out and trying to find these Easter eggs and get the keys to unlock it. And the crazy thing is
at the end he's like, no Easter egg.
But the crazy thing is that James Halliday had like they are like finding more and more about his history in the movie. Like as they're trying to unlock his secrets, they're figuring out more about this creator, James Halliday, and they find out that he was a big fan of Stephen King and the movie The Shining in particular.
Interesting.
And so there's one part, dude, where like one of the last levels that they have to like unlock a key is in the virtual reality game. They have to actually go into the Overlook Hotel, which is the hotel in The Shining.
Yeah.
And they had to recreate and I don't know how they did it, but it is the exact set, dude, down to like the typewriter and the tennis ball bouncing and little girls standing in the hallway. And it is exactly the Overlook Hotel.
That's so crazy. So you guys are thinking about
Twister. We're
watching that It's Shining, and then you're there and
watching a movie in The Shining. So it is exact.
It's like a Matrix.
It was the Matrix, dude. So in the movie, which is Ready Player One, there's an entire 10-minute segment that takes place at the Overlook Hotel from The Shining.
Crazy.
And in Twister, the drive-in theater screen gets ripped apart from the exact hotel in that exact scene. So it was like, dude, it couldn't have been any more full circle. And it was just such a trip, dude. Like, I was just waiting for the tornado to come through. But it was really fun. I think we got like a bunch of snacks. We're chilling. All the way that here's what I don't remember that was completely different in this experience. Instead of having speakers inside your car, they actually have you tune in to an AM/FM station.
Oh, that's cool.
That has it play in your car, so you don't need to have speakers coming in. You just tune
that's
right
rad.
in. It was perfect because
was it like Bluetooth or was it an actual radio station?
It's an FM station. I believe it was FM, and you tune in, and it's perfect sound quality.
Wow.
And dude,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I have the my car is an '08, but I bought the version that had the souped up package of the sound. So the bass, the bass, the
that's dope.
The sound was better than watching a movie in our own living room.
No way.
Yeah, it was better
because you're in a small space.
We're in a small space, and the screen was so big, and we were parked right in front of it that it actually filled the entire windshield. So it felt like not only did you have a better seat than if you were in a theater with some crowded big head family, but the audio quality was on par. And dude, you got your drink holder right in the middle, just like you're in a real theater.
Dude,
you got snacks that aren't the same price, like at a way lower price than you were going to. Dude, I honestly, we didn't even stay for the second movie, but because that movie alone,
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One was over 2.5 hours.
Wow.
It was such a long movie. I was like, I don't understand how you would even want to sit through Lara Croft Tomb Raider, which I'm not even a fan of. You know, so I was like,
my wife loves the original.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not going to sit through this. I was like, ready to go home. I think by that time,
you're a ready player to go home.
I was ready player go home. And
ready player go home.
Dude, it was honestly like I would love to go on like a double date with you and Ivy back to this place, and we can see. And dude, I'm telling you, like you feel good because it's a different experience. You're watching but you're watching something completely new, and it's just so much more cost effective than ever going to the movie theater.
Comfortable.
Like, it's all around better, and the sound honestly was better than if you were to watch it, like say in our living room or something like that. Like the audio, it is going to come down to what kind of speakers you have, and in my Taurus, like it's banging, dude. So. Overall, my experience was just, dude, it was top notch, and the movie overall was awesome. Like, I don't want to give away too much. Like, I kind of gave away the basics that are in the trailer, but go watch Ready Player One, dude. Like, and honestly, if you guys look up in your town, if you have a drive-in theater, experience it and
take
go do it.
Of that.
There was only one thing. There's only one bone I have to pick about the drive-in theater.
Yeah,
and it wasn't the people working. Honestly, everyone was really nice, but. The way that, like, so there's still slots that you park in. You park in, like, a painted slot so that the people that are coming in kind of have a general idea on how to line up, you know, and where to put your car.
But is there people, like, walking you to that space? Or
no, you just go in and you just park. You find a spot.
So it's like find your own seat.
Find your own seat. And whoever gets there early gets the best spot, you know. I guess they could have numbers and letters on each one, but to reserve a spot, it's just not necessary because they didn't fill up more than maybe 25% of the parking lot.
Wow.
There was room for hundreds of more cars, but there was probably about 50 to 100 cars there that night.
I wonder if those people advertise. Because you don't see advertisements for driving
Paramount Drive-In Theater?
Like, come on.
But at the same time, the fact that they reopened it, you would think, like, you know, I don't know if there was a big rush of people that went in there. Like, there was enough people there, and everything is, like, so huge. You know, the screens are just giant.
I like what you said, what they did with the turning into a music station. Like,
yeah, that was
dope,
new. And the other thing I didn't remember was that the actual parking slots are slanted. So the front of your car is lifted up much higher than the rear.
Oh.
So you're slanted, like you're like kind of like laying back, and you can recline your chair so you're looking up, and it's much more comfortable.
That's cool.
It's much more comfortable than if, like, what I remember which was you park your car in a flat spot and you have speakers inside your,
Yeah.
or they would maybe, I think in back in the day, what they would do is just have big amplifiers for everyone, and everyone would hear the sound quality that way. And like, you remember the movie The Outsiders? I think they're just all sitting outside on logs and they're all watching.
Yeah, everyone's in the back of a pickup truck and there's like 2 speakers.
Yeah, but that's what happened. That's what pissed me off was that we ended up moving spots because we were parked in the center, like to the left, but there was one spot right in front of us, and it was about 5 minutes before the movie started, and this SUV pulls right into that spot. Now there's nothing wrong. Yeah, but the thing is, they didn't park with the front facing forward and just watch the movie. They parked with the front facing us, so we can look right into their front windshield. And then they popped the back hitch, or what do you call it, the tailgate open, and it was sticking up high in the air so that they can all sit in the back of the SUV and lay flat on their stomachs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, out of the back of an SUV and just watch the movie. Now, that'd be fine if it wasn't sticking 10 feet in the air and completely blocking my view, because we're at a much lower angle in the Taurus. So I go out and I go over there and I said, hey, you're not going to keep I don't know if that is the rear door, the hitch that comes up, is that what to call it?
For an SUV?
Yeah. What is it?
Was it like a window or?
No, the rear, just like imagine like the very rear giant door that opens.
On an SUV?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's like their back door.
Yeah, just the back door, but it's stuck straight up in the air. You know what I mean? Because it just pulled straight out and went into the air, and the shocks would like hold it up in
like
place.
Like a Lincoln or something.
Yeah, and there was white trash people around us where their kids were sitting on the roofs of their cars and
drinking Budweiser.
They were having a good time. But this family parked right in front of us, and I went to the back. To the back of their car where they were all sitting, and there was literally like a fat mom laying on her stomach in the back of the SUV,
eating
like
Cheetos.
propped up on a pillow. And I was like, hey, you guys aren't gonna like leave the door like shooting straight up in the air. It's blocking my view and probably 2 other people. And this like fat lady, dude, she just said, I don't want to move the car, my kids. And I was like, you know what? Forget about it. I was just trying to have a good time, having my like 1-year anniversary here. I'm at a drive-in theater. This was the only bone I had to pick. So I ended up moving the car. We actually got a better spot. We got right in the very center. Like I squeezed the car into like this one spot. But between like 2 other couples, there's a lot of...
Was it tighter than the skin on a hot dog?
It was tighter than the skin on a hot dog, man. But honestly, we had so much fun. She had a blast. It wasn't like... I could have felt bad because it was like, yeah, it was $20, but you know what? It was a really good time. It was really
That's
cool.
all that matters, man.
That's it. That is. Yeah.
You guys enjoy the experience. You guys had a good time. You enjoyed each other's company. And hey, man, that's a different experience that like not a lot of people know about.
Yeah.
Like maybe
nobody goes to drive-in theaters anymore or talks about it,
because nobody knows where they're at.
Yeah. You just and that was. And the interesting
You're inspiring me to want to go and see a movie.
You should. I would recommend it. And you should come with me and Bella, or you can take Ivy as like a date night or whatever. But just like you guys went out to
It'll be our first double date since you guys never invite.
We have gone out with you guys.
Have we?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Where?
I can't remember. But
we didn't make that happen.
Yeah, man, you can't beat it. And you get 2 movies out of the whole deal. So... The most important thing is, would you rather...
Oh, here we go. Oh, God. Would you rather go to Coachella?
All right. So would you rather eat a chili dog off of Lou Ferrigno's ass?
Who's that?
The Incredible Hulk. So you have to eat a chili dog, like, freaking right off his ass. Or would you rather have a publicized pillow fight with Richard Simmons?
All right, describe the chili dog situation.
Dude, okay, so
is it like, do I have to eat it out of his asshole?
Dude,
is it just laying on the top?
It's a hot dog resting on his buns, and then they pour chili over it, and you just got to eat it, dude. Or would you rather have like a giant pillow fight, and it's all over TV, dude? It's you and Richard Simmons. And he's laughing, dude, and feathers are flying around.
I think either or is fine.
You would do either one?
Yeah.
Dude, I would actually do the pillow fight. I don't think
I would do the pillow fight because it'd be fun publicity.
It'd be funny. Yeah.
And it'd be hilarious. And I'm like, stop hitting on me, Richard. You silly
Stop,
son of a bitch.
I was like, dude, it was down to like, would you rather have a pillow fight or would you rather let Richard Simmons tickle you with a feather for an hour, dude? I was like, dude, that's stupid. I can't go in.
He's
that.
like, put it in your nose. Is that tickle?
Yeah. Dude, that's...
yeah, so I'd probably do the pillow fight.
Okay. Yeah, that's understandable. I would do the pillow fight too. I don't think I would actually go with that.
Hey, dude, we watched Jurassic Park, the first one, last night.
Oh, it's so good, dude. I was priming myself. I'm getting ready for and we just realized that you can't
the new
go
one's coming out.
because we were talking about going to the 25th
premiere
anniversary, which I mean we talked about on one of our last podcasts. But I was like, hey, let's watch Jurassic Park 1, dude. And you really have to give it up again for the practical effects in the movie. Yeah, they're so good. It looks so much more real than the new movies. For sure. The first one, the practical effects and the real robots and animatronics they use are 100% better looking than any CG ever, because we've gotten to a point with movies where we accept the fakeness on screen. Like, I know that's a fake dinosaur, but I'm willing to accept it because this movie's funny, right? And Chris Pratt's cool, and God bless the movie. Like, Jurassic World's a cool movie, but all the dinosaurs don't look real. They don't look real, and you know it. You know, everyone knows it. But when you watch the first Jurassic Park, that T-Rex is real. That's a giant robot, right? That they really made. They put more effort into it. With Jaws, that's a real robot shark. You know, like, to me, that's just so much more respectable. And the new movies, they just get so lazy. You know, like, why can't you just have a puppet Yoda? Why does it have to be CGI? Why are you going to replace old animatronic or an old robot with, it's probably cheaper for them, but at the end of the day, they probably, with the robot, they probably have to record so much more with it and like get different angles versus CG. They can do exactly what they want. Yeah. But looking back now at just the Jurassic Park 1, you and we both came to an agreement that it looks so much better. It was just so much well put together. Yeah. And it was just like, holy shit, dude, that's a freaking dinosaur. Yeah, it does look real. And dude, I don't know when that movie came out. I don't remember. But 90, well, if the 25th anniversary is this year, then it's 1993. For the 90s, dude, when you saw that freaking robot, like, biting the goat. It still like, looks real because you're like, whoa! You accept it, yeah. You accept that it looks real, dude. Yeah, and that's because Not that I've ever seen a real dinosaur. It's not a real dinosaur, but it is an actual robot. A lot of it is robots. And look, there's a few scenes in that movie where you say, hey, look, I can accept that that's CGI, 90s CGI. Like when the dinosaur eats the guy off the toilet. You're like, when you gotta go, dude. Exactly, but there's no way you can really do that. Like with CGI, even with like a fake dinosaur and you have a puppet, like I accept that. But when you do 100% CGI and just not any animatronic, that's when it gets lazy, and that's when it gets like, I don't know. I feel like people just check out. There's certain scenes where like if it's not even possible through animatronics, that's when you use CGI. Like all the Jurassic Parks have been good. Yes, but they have to be. Yeah, there's just a different look and a different feel to having that thing just be an actual robot. Right. It just looks cool. Yeah. If it's like, I feel like if you can make the scene and you can have an animatronic or you can have an actual robot dinosaur, then do it. And if it's a scene where it just absolutely cannot be done, then use CGI. Then fall back on CGI. Just don't overdo it. Like when the T-1000 in Terminator 2 walked through the bars, you can't do that. No matter if you had clay to push through a bunch of metal bars. Like, it's just got to be CGI. And that's the movie that they always stack up Jurassic Park against on who had the breakthroughs in CGI. Yeah. Because Terminator 2, James Cameron movie, came out before Jurassic Park. It came out in 1991. And when they had the T-1000 turning into liquid metal and he's walking out of a fire, which you just cannot do. Right. There's certain things that, having a guy turning into a metal endoskeleton walking out of a flame of a diesel truck that exploded in the LA River, you have to use CGI. Yeah. And that's just put those movies on the map from the get-go. Yeah, dude, are you? I don't know if you're watching anything right now on Netflix or anything. I'm watching a new show on Netflix, Which one? It's called Lost in Space.
And
I know there's an old show called Lost in Space. So is it based
brand
on
new one, 2018.
So is it based on the classic or no?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea. But it's basically, these people. I'm not going to give the whole movie away. You have to go watch it. It's amazing, dude. It's like one of my favorite shows that I'm watching right now.
Okay.
And it's so well put together. I don't want to even give it away because it's so sick.
Okay. And is it one season's out? Is it a Netflix original?
It's got a full season out right now.
Okay,
I think there's like 8 or 12 episodes out right now.
I'm so excited.
Each one's an hour episode, and it's just like, each one is like a full movie. You're just like, holy crap, this is happening. Yeah. You're just on the edge of the seat of I'm
on the edge of my seat because I got to piss so bad, but keep talking and I can hear you literally from the bathroom. So, all right, we're back. Dude, okay, so what did you think? I want you to wrap what you were saying on Lost in Space.
Lost in Space. It was just a great movie. I like it.
Netflix original?
Or show rather.
Okay.
But I haven't finished it yet, so I'm only like 4 or 5. Each one's like an hour episode.
Okay.
So it could be like a huge long movie, but it's very intense, very well written, and I can't wait to finish it all up.
Dude, that's tight, dude. So you're not watching the ABC, basically reboot of Roseanne Barr.
God, no.
Dude, so did you know that they relaunched that show on ABC?
I saw that.
And so if you like fat, naggy wives, then you would like the reboot of Roseanne Barr. But
I got one at home. Just kidding. I was kidding.
Dude, I'm shocked that they actually brought it back. Look, I know it was a super popular show. It came out, started in '88. I think it might have been on for close to 10 years. But I remember that show always being like rerun throughout the 90s and like late night TV or like whatever channel it was on, and I would always see it, and you see John Candy like walking around like, oh, my wife, oh, it was like the laugh track. But I never got into it. I just never thought it was that great. And I guess what's her name, Roseanne Barr, she started off in stand-up comedy, and I just heard them talking about her on Joey Diaz's podcast.
It was a little bit before our time.
It was, yeah. So it was a different generation. I don't know if it was like. I watched a few episodes a long time ago, but it was never a sitcom that I got into on the level of, say, like that 70s show or, even like super old sitcoms like The Brady Bunch or Gilligan's Isle or whatever, if that's even a sitcom. But the Roseanne show, dude, they brought
Friends.
it back. I don't know how long it's going to last. And then one thing that always sticks in my mind of Roseanne was her singing. I don't know if you ever saw it, but she sang like the Star Spangled Banner in 1990 at like San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium, but she butchered it. So she went, it sounded so bad, dude.
Everyone's like, boo, boo, get off the stage.
She did it in like she did it in character, so she totally butchered the song. And I guess some people thought it was funny, some people thought it was stupid, but you can find that video of her singing. I can't remember. It was Star Spangled Banner National Anthem, but she totally butchered it, dude. And it was pretty pathetic.
Yeah, I'm not into dog shit shows like that.
Dude, did you hear that Will Ferrell got in a car accident?
I did, dude.
On the 5.
His driver,
like in a stretch limo or whatever.
Yeah, his driver was driving him, and I don't know what happened. They hit something. And he got carried out.
I guess he's fine, but his assistant really got jacked up. But he got like minor injuries. But
that's scary, man.
I guess they said like drugs were involved or whatever, dude. That is really sad. Like it's been a sad week for pop culture. Even like Arlie Remy Arlie Ermy died. That's the guy from Full Metal Jacket. Get out of my private scumball!
Really?
What are you doing?
I didn't read that.
Yeah, dude, he died.
He
died just last week. I guess.
Wow.
From like pneumonia, he had complications, but dude,
he was trying to suck a golf ball through a
garden hose. Yeah. Bullshit! I bet you can suck a golf ball through a garden hose, private joker. Is that funny to you? Like his character in that movie is so captivating. If you've never seen Full Metal Jacket,
go watch it.
Even like that movie, when they were making it, they knew it was a good movie because on the cover of it, and I have the laser disc that our buddy Jack gave me. It says the best war movie ever made. This is a Stanley Kubrick film. Mm-hmm. Same guy who made The Shining, and these are his 80s movies. He made Clockwork Orange, 2001: A Space Odyssey. He ventures in to war and making a dark movie about the Vietnam War and his thoughts on it, basically portrayed through this film. And who would think like the first half hour is going to be boot camp? You'd think, well, take me right into Vietnam. and tell the story.
That's a long movie, dude.
It's very long.
It's like a 3-hour movie.
And it's through the eyes of, or it's through...
And it's right when you think it's going to end, it just keeps going.
Yeah, dude. But...
Because then they go to war, and you're like, damn, this movie's long.
And Sergeant Gunnery, Sergeant Hartman, who's played by Arlie Ermey, probably the most memorable character in the movie, even though he dies from Private... what's his name? He calls him Private Pile, and Private Pile snaps basically one night because like his.
But he's made so much more movies up and shows after that.
Yeah, the guy who played Pile.
Yeah,
both Pile and Sergeant Gunnery Hartman, but Pile, he was in Jurassic World, dude. He's like the fat guy who gets his like arm bit off or whatever. That was him. That guy. He's done a lot of acting since, but when he was in that movie, I remember watching Full Metal Jacket when we were really young and being like just blown away by just the opening scene where the sergeant's yelling at everybody and like you're like super intimidating, dude. But then I remember the scene with Private Pile, and he was just kind of like a dopey guy, and like everyone's making fun of him. But then there's one night in the movie where they beat him with they put
soap bars. They
put soap inside of socks, and then they beat the crap out of him, dude, because he's basically puts a donut in his footlocker, and the sergeant finds it, makes everyone do push-ups while he eats the donut. Everyone hates him. They beat him with soap bars. And then all of a sudden he starts kind of like something in his head snaps, and he becomes like a really great student, a really great Marine, and he becomes 0800 infantry basically.
Right.
And he knows all of the like what's your first code class, whatever, what is it? And he knows, and he's on top of it, but you can see in his eyes that like something has seriously changed. He went from being a mama's boy to something being, like this cold-blooded killer. And then towards the end of like that first half hour, he snaps and he's in the bathroom. Joker goes in there and finds him sitting there on the pot with the freaking like M1 Grand or M16 just right in his mouth, and the sergeant comes in. What are you doing? Kills the sergeant and kills himself. It was one of like the most that scene, dude. I remember not only feeling really bad for him when I was really young and I watched it, in the scene where he got beat by soap to the point where I was like, I really felt something in my stomach. But the scene where he kills himself, like there's something about that whole scene that like really made me like feel like it made me feel.
It's like holy shit.
Period. Yeah, and. It gives you a feeling like every time you watch it, but especially the first time or two, like you feel really uneasy about it. You just feel like, dang, dude, oh my, you didn't want him to die. I mean, not a lot of people like him in the movie, but for somebody to get pushed to that point, and we know, that kind of stuff really does happen. But just a super intense movie, and it's sad that Arlie Ermey is dead now, but he'll forever be remembered. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, watch Full Metal Jacket, and
check it out.
You'll never forget it. But anyway, man, I am stoked that you got your vacation coming up, dude.
Yeah.
We're gonna have like a ton of episodes, leading up to this one, with like our guests and everything. So we'll wrap it up now. It's honestly been a fun podcast.
Absolutely.
Right here on the iPhone 8 in the Eynon Brothers studio. I'm glad that, dude, like even though the computer thing didn't work out,
it's all good.
We brought it together. So.
Eynon Brothers podcast, making it happen.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for listening, guys. It's been fun.
Yeah.
We're keeping it short here, but it's always good to podcast and send some love out to you guys. So tune back in whenever we have another podcast. Tommy will be home shortly, probably like within the next week by the time this episode comes out.
I'll have a bunch of stuff to talk about.
That's it, dude. So our second day in a row. We've never actually recorded 2 days in a row, so I'm kind of proud of like this whole thing. And like something happened like with our computer tonight, and I was like, oh, it's like the gods are telling us don't podcast again, or something's trying to stop us.
And
but
that's when you do. That's when you got to double down.
That's when you bust it out, dude. And I'm like, dude, if I plug in the external, it's gonna take an hour to load, and blah 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 blah. But dude, we're just gonna make it happen. And honestly, I was like, I told Tommy, I was like, dude, they're not gonna care if we do it on an iPhone 8 because that's what they're listening to it on anyway.
I was like, let's get out the OG Home Alone recorder.
Yeah, the Talk Boy. Yeah, dude.
Let's do it, man. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate all your love, support, comments. Go like, subscribe.
Make sure you leave us a review on our podcast page or iTunes or Stitcher. Leave a review and rate us. We love that kind of stuff. We're going to be coming back at you with some more material soon. God bless you. We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bar. Peace.